What's the deal? What's the deal? You already know it's the one and only Auntie Fool. Y'all know I'm not really on camera like that because what I've been going through, I got a lot going on right now. So if you know, you know. If you don't worry. It's all good. I'll be okay. But I came to get y'all story time about how my homegirl got 25 to life. Now for y'all that was paying attention, y'all already know we had met these dudes or whatever, and then she had a friend that was for me. I'm basically coming to y'all with the third part. So I hope y'all got the first two that was on TikTok. Hold on, I had thought I heard something. I'm super paranoid. Not like that, but you gotta be aware of shit. Can't be playing no games. So anyway, we go on this date, and like I said, the dude she had for me was dark skin, pretty eyes. Like he was handsome, pretty ass white teeth. Like he was everything or whatever. So her date was cool or whatever. So we went out. We had a good ass time. So he dropped me back off at home. We exchanged info, and we started developing our relationship or whatever. So her and old boy was cool. You know what I'm saying? He was cool. But see, at this time, like, she had just started college. She was really doing her shit. And that's what her mama wanted her to stay focused on. And even though she was grown, all them is kids. They was loud. They still had, like, she still had a curfew and all that type of shit. So, that's where the conflict started coming in because she started to feel like, I'm grown. Like, why the fuck I have to basically do what you're saying. Her mama like, because you live in my house. So that's when division started coming in. So she called me one day and was like, what you doing? I'm like, nothing. She like, they want to go out. I was like, yeah, he told me or whatever. So she was like, girl, let's go. I was like, girl, I had to go do me something to wear or whatever. And I was like, shit. Once I get me something to wear, I was like, my cousin, she gonna do me a ponytail. I'm like, well, I'm gonna be over there or whatever. She like, okay, cool. So I go do what I do, and I drive over there or whatever. She get dressed, they come, we go out, we have a good time. Okay, so in the midst of us going out though, we at this little party. So when we at this party, my friend, he right up under me. And her friend, he up under her, but he's moving around. And I took it as he's moving around because of course what he do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about when I say a man does what he does. So I'm thinking he's serving or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So in the midst of this car pull up. When this car pull up, like my friend, he kind of grabbed me. I'm like, damn, why he holding me so tight? He like, stand right here. So I'm looking at the homegirl or whatever. I tell her like, stand right here. Like I grab her closer to me. Like what he grabbing me for? So all I see is this female get out the car, right? Big and pregnant. She get out the car. She going to fuck off, but she talking shit to my homegirl friend. So my homegirl finna like beeline over there, and my friend tell her like, "Nah, watch out, don't get in that." And she like, "Oh, okay," you know what I'm saying? She like, "Okay, or whatever." He like, "Just stay out of that, or whatever." So they going back and forth, and even though they arguing or whatever, you can just hear arguing. You can't really hear what the argument is about. You know what I'm saying? So a girl end up walking off, getting back in her car and leave. So when he walked back over there to my homegirl, she like, what is that about? He like, shit, that ain't nothing but a client. Like she on some bullshit or whatever, trying to say she don't owe me. So I'm looking at her like, oh, okay, it's not an issue or whatever. So the day go on, you know what I'm saying? The night go on, we have a good time. It ain't really nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. So her and him, they just doing their thing. But in the midst of them doing their thing, she like slacking off from school. So her mama like, look, you gonna have to figure it out. Like I pay for this, I pay for that. Like you gonna have to figure this shit out. So she like basically fuck that. So she get her a little place with him or whatever. And it's not really, well, I can't say it wasn't a place, but it was a place. They basically moved into the auntie, his auntie back house. You know what I'm saying? So they was paying her to stay there or whatever, because now she got a little job or whatever. So now she more focused on her job than really like even going to school. You know what I'm saying? So her mama mad. You know what I'm saying? Her mama ain't really feeling that shit. You know what I'm saying? Her mama ain't feeling that. So her mama ain't never really cared for him or whatever. So, me and my friend, we doing good. We cool or whatever. So this one particular day, he like, oh babe, they invited us over. They go cook or whatever. I'm like, man, that bitch can't cook. I'm like, what they calling us over there for me to cook? He was like, more than likely. I'm like, I'm not cooking. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. And he was like, yeah. He was like, I understand, babe. He was like, but man, nigga don't want to eat her food. I'm like, I already know. So whatever, we get over there and we chilling, we having a good time. And so this particular girl come knock on the door or whatever. This is another girl. Come knock on the door, he serve her. So, he got traffic kind of like going. So I tell my boo thing like, babe, I ain't know he was serving out the house like this. He was like, yeah, I'm like, damn. That type of stuff be having me spooked. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand niggas that do that. Like, you live here, Whatever, though. So, they do what they do. So, we drinking and shit. My homegirl, like, I don't feel good. So, I'm just joking. I'm like, damn, bitch, what, you pregnant or something? So, he like, what? I'm like, no, I'm just fucking with her because she said the liquor tastes nasty. Like, I'm like, I'm just fucking with her, like, if she pregnant. He like, man, if she pregnant, she better figure it out. She like, what you mean? He like, shit, exactly what I said. I was like, oh shit, well, I ain't come over here to start nothing, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm just joking, like, shit, you know what I'm saying? She was like, oh, so that's how it feels. So my little comment made a whole little uproar. You know what I'm saying? So my dude was like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? We finna go. Nigga didn't come over here to start no shit. He just like, nah, nigga just saying, like, he just saying, it's cold, y'all. That's why I keep yawning. Even though it's like the windows closed, it's so cold right now in LA. It's just cold. You feel me? So he like, nah. Like, my friend like, nah, bro. Like, we gonna get up out of here. He like, nah, y'all ain't gotta leave. Y'all ain't gotta leave. He like, yeah, we gonna go ahead and go, bro. Like, it wasn't even that serious. Like, and I don't need my girl feeling uncomfortable or whatever. So I'm like, all right, girl. I'm like, I'll talk to you later. I'm like, I ain't trying to start nothing. You know what I'm saying? She was like, nah, it's all good or whatever. So as soon as we like leave out the door and he closed the door, all I hear is rumbling. So I turn around and he like, mind your business. I'm like, your homeboy be hitting on my homegirl. He like, man, I don't be in they mix, man. He was like, man, I just stay out the way. I'm like, that ain't smooth. So like a week go past or whatever. She called me like, what you doing? I'm like, nothing, how you doing? She like, I'm good. I'm like, shit. I'm like, we supposed to be going to the beach or whatever. I'm like, you want to go? She like, yeah, that sound like fun. She like, he gone hustling or whatever. I'm like, yeah, let's just go to the beach. So we go to the beach. I pick her up. We go to the beach. We have a good time. Bring her back home from the beach or whatever. Drop her off. So my friend, he called me. He like, babe, what you doing? I'm like, man, we just came back from the beach. Had a good time or whatever. He like, you cleaned up already? I'm like, yeah. I said, but man, I hate going to the beach. I'm like, cause babe, sand everywhere. He was like, yeah. He was like, oh shit. He was like, you probably got sand all in the vagina. He like, you gonna have a nigga eating on a crunch sandwich. I'm like, shut up. I'm like, you so stupid. Like, no, it ain't even like that. I'm like, I didn't even get all the way in the water like that today. He was like, you already know you be a Compton mermaid and that motherfucker. I'm like, shut up, babe. He like, I ain't never seen a black girl like water like you. I'm like, I know, huh? He like, man. I'm like, nah, though. I'm like, nah. I'm like, we just had a good time. I'm like, we really didn't get no, I'm like, I got no water a little bit, but not like I know you normally do or whatever. He was like, oh, okay, cool. He was like, we're going to get ready. I want to take you to dinner. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go in there. I get dressed. And I realized, like, I burnt my cheek. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm rolled, like my cheek was rosy, it was burnt. So it kind of like made it like pinkish red, So when he picked me up, he was like, damn, babe. I was like, babe. I was like, damn. I was like, I didn't realize I got sunburned or whatever. He was like, damn, you got to start wearing sunscreen. So we was just talking about that. Like, it was some real basic shit. So we get to the restaurant. He was like, my boy and your girl supposed to come. I'm like, oh, okay. So they get to the restaurant or whatever. She walk in. She like, hey, girl. I'm like, hey, hey. But she got on glasses. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm already assuming, like, she must got a black eye or something. What the fuck she doing on with glasses at nighttime? You know what I'm saying? But I ain't saying nothing, you know. Night goes on. We party. She never take the glasses off. I don't say nothing or whatever. So her friend, he talking to me. He like, dang, what's wrong with you? I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with me. He like, why you ain't talking to me? I was like, shit, I really ain't got no reason to be talking to you. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you fuck with my homegirl. I'm like, we ain't really got nothing in common. I'm like, you my boo, you know, homie. Like, I was like, what I'm supposed to say? He was like, you ain't gotta act like that, Pooh Bear. I'm like, yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah, or whatever like that. So he like, what y'all doing afterwards? Y'all want to come to the house? My friend was like, yeah, we can come. I'm like, nah. I was like, nah, nigga. Because after the last time, nigga, I was like, it was an issue about me saying something. I was like, damn, when we closed the door, I'm like, nigga, I heard y'all rumbling. I'm like, and I ain't with that. He was like, oh, that's what you heard? I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I heard. And I said, I ain't trying to be in y'all business. Y'all do your own thing. She like, girl, no, it's not like that. He just be getting mad or whatever. He know he'd be happy if I was pregnant or whatever like that. He was like, man, yeah, I'd be happy. It wasn't like that. You always take a joke the wrong way. I'm like, nah, I just take niggas for what they say. You feel me? I'm like, oh, I ain't know it was a joke like that. And so we all ate or whatever. So we left. We went over there or whatever. It was cool, but the same girl who knocked on the door the first time, she came back. So I'm like, this girl buying a lot of shit. But it was something about the way this girl was looking that wasn't sitting right with me. You know what I'm saying? Just wasn't sitting right with me. So I was like, So we over there drinking. And my friend, he kind of a lightweight. You know what I'm saying? And at this time, he was driving the stick. And at that time, I knew how to drive a stick, but I wasn't confident enough to drive from like where we was at all the way to the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't comfortable enough. So I was like, mm-mm. And I was like, damn, we gonna have to spend the night over here, like, you know, until he rest up, like, sober up or whatever. So we in the living room on the couch or whatever, me and him. But he not faded to where he's not aware of, like, his money, his keys, I'm there. You know, his phone, he just faded. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we not driving or whatever. So we on the couch or whatever, he doze off. But I'm laying on him, like, in between his legs or whatever, laying on his chest. And I'm peeping old girl when she come back to the door. Now, my own girl in the room. So I see him go to the door and he talking to her. And he like, yeah. He like, come back. She'll be sleeping in a minute. So I'm sitting there like, oh my God. But I got my head like the cover over my eyes. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time I'm making facial expressions up under this cover like, no the fuck. I'm not hearing what I'm hearing. And I heard the girl say like, I always gotta wait till she go to sleep. He was like, man, you already know what it is, like chill out or whatever. And then I hear them giving him a kiss, and then I like pull the cover up at the bottom, and I could see him like sticking his hand up her dress or whatever. I'm like, ooh, because the way that it was like a wall. So he talking about a door, but I can see like along the side the wall. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my motherfucking God. So my nigga kind of wake up and he grabbed me and he like, mind your business. I'm like, yeah, bitch, you ain't drunk like that. You know, I'm being nosy to the motherfucker. So I'm like, So he closed the door or whatever. So I'm like, So I don't say nothing or whatever. So he go in there with my homegirl. I can hear them having sex, right? And I can hear her like screaming, telling him, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I don't like that. I don't like that. And he like, no, give it to me. And she like, no, I don't like it like that. You do it too hard. You always want to take it. He was like, nah. He basically telling her he finna punish her. She like, no, no, don't stick it in my ass. Like, no, no. I'm like, what the fuck? Right? So I hear the homegirl hollering. I'm like, uh-uh. Like, no, he didn't just take that. You feel me? But then I'm like, well, maybe that's the way they role play. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody do different. Because, you know, Auntie do some shit in her bedroom. We play all kind of roles and games. So you never know. You know what I'm saying? So this is just what I'm listening to, y'all, right? So the next morning when we get up, we getting ready to leave. I'm folding up the cover or whatever, about to put it back in the closet and put the pillow in there or whatever. And so I knock on the door. I'm like, hey, y'all, we about to go. He like, oh, all right. So when I open the door, he like throw his leg out the cover like, and she like turned to the side, but he like trying to give me a view, and I'm looking like, oh hell no. So I was like, girl, you hear me? And she was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was like, all right, all right. So me and my friend leave. So as soon as I go back in there, I'm like, your friend nasty as a motherfucker. I'm like, you the one told me to go in there and say bye, what you did. I'm like, you went in there to tell me to let him know we leaving. I'm like, and this nigga all dropping his leg out the cover. He was like, man, you know how that weird ass nigga is. Like, you know how he is. I'm like, so what? Your homeboy disrespectful. He like, you already know. He like, but fuck that nigga. Like, let's go, whatever. So as we leaving, I see old girl pulling up. Okay, no problem. No, nothing. So a couple of days later, we find out. I'm like, her mama called me. Like, you seen her? I'm like, yeah, I just was over there a couple of days ago, whatever, whatever. She was like, well, something going on. I'm like, what you talking about? She like, something going on. They trying to tell me she got arrested, but don't nobody know where she at. I'm like, what? So, boom, she done got caught stealing. Me not knowing the whole time, him and her is going around boosting, right? So they going around boosting shit. I didn't even know this because first of all, my homegirl don't do shit like this. So when her mama was saying they was boosting, I was like, nah. I was like, maybe it was another broad and somehow they got caught up. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, like I think he had another bitch doing it. I'm like, and maybe they just busted him or something like that. She like, okay. So finally, the homegirl get out of jail. I asked her like, what's up? She was like, we been doing this. I'm like, damn, bitch, you didn't even tell me. She was like, yeah. So as I'm coming around now, I'm seeing the homegirl is serving, she boosting, and I'm like, okay. So as we over there one day for Taco Tuesday, we over there. If y'all already know, everybody want me to make my bomb ass motherfucking tacos. They already be on it. You already know. My shit be crispy shell cheese on the inside. All the shit you don't do, stop it. I don't fuck with you sliced cheese and ketchup making taco ass bitches with them soggy ass shells. Like, stop it anyway. So anyway, I'm over there cooking, and old girl who was at the door, she come back. But when she come back in the house and sit down. So I'm looking like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh. I'm like, oh, she in your house? And she was like, that's our bitch. That's y'all wait. That's y'all wait. Wait a minute. This a whole 360. I ain't seen none of this coming. So now you boosting. Now you serving. Girl, now you like girls. I've been knowing you your whole life, girl, and I'm the one that like girls. So when you start liking girls, I ain't never known nothing about this. So now they got like a whole little operation going. Oh, is he a pimp now? Oh my God. So my dude like, what the fuck going on? I'm like, babe, they all together. He like, damn, shit transpire in a month, don't it? I'm like, don't it? I'm like, don't you ever try no shit like that? He like, man, I ain't crazy. He was like, I already know you ain't never going for this. Never, not in a million years. No, not this. Like, what? I'm not finna go. Look here, bro. What? So now it's to the point where like the homegirl done got tattoos on her face. She blasted. She doing her shit. And I'm just like, she becoming a whole new person. And it's like, bitch, you becoming a person that I'm not understanding because at this point we're older. You know what I'm saying? We're older. We're older. You know what I'm saying? We're older. And it's like, you gotta know when to stop. You know what I'm saying? Certain shit we just gotta stop or whatever. So she go to jail again. When she go to jail this time, her mama tell her like, this your second time going to jail. I ain't with this shit. You gonna have to do this on your own. She basically tell her mama, fuck her. I don't need you. You ain't never wanted me to be the person I wanted to be. You get what I'm saying? Like, she basically told her mama, fuck her. Like, she was cool on her. And it didn't matter because she didn't need her. Right? So when she get out of jail this time, she find out she pregnant. Okay? So she find out she pregnant. So she pregnant or whatever. She about to have a baby. He go to jail. He only go to jail for like maybe 7, 8 months. He get out of jail. The baby is born. They still doing what they doing now. She done took over. She the one serving. She the one make sure these bitches is steady boosting. He got money on his books. She basically made it better than what he had it rolling. Right? So now she got her jewelry up and all type of shit. So her, him, and another girl, right? They doing their thing. They got their whole little couple thing cracking. Something transpired to where the third girl they got added, she was a problem. And she was a problem because she was younger. She didn't have no kids. She didn't have, you know what I'm saying, nothing going on. She can go in and out of town. She ain't looking for no babysitter. She cute. You know what I'm saying? She the new next thing coming. My homegirl ain't getting the attention that she was getting in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? She's not getting that attention at all. So it's becoming a problem. So now they fighting and arguing, but he's taking up for the new girl. You know what I'm saying? For the new girl or whatever. So that's where all their tension was coming from. So they end up getting caught with like guns and drugs in the car, and she was high off crystal. So her baby ended up getting took, and the mama ended up taking the baby. And the mama was real legit about the rules. Like, if the court say you can't come, you can't come. If the court say you can come on Monday and Tuesday, your ass coming on Monday and Tuesday. You're not going to jeopardize what I got going on. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm the one taking care of my granddaughter. So basically, she would like cuss her mama out, didn't give a fuck, bust her mama windows out, all that. So her mama put her back in jail. So this particular time, she went to jail for like 6 months. She lost her rights or whatever. So now the mama got the baby. The judge basically was saying like, you don't want to learn. You keep chasing behind this dude. Your mama had you in school. You was going to college. You basically said, fuck college. You know what I'm saying? And you just became a totally different person. So now when I see the homegirl, I don't really recognize her the same because it's like, yeah, we from the hood and all this, but girl, you doing too much. You know what I'm saying? You're doing too much. You ain't never been this type of girl to actually transfer into this person when we're grown. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never had no type of inkling, no type of nothing when we was younger. So for her to switch up, it was difficult to accept or whatever. So she done lost the baby, cussed out her mama. She don't give a damn. Her daddy and them not fooling with her. She not caring. So basically, her and him got these young girls now boosting, selling pussy. You know what I'm saying? They doing everything they shouldn't be doing. And now they fucking feet is about to get put to the fire. You get what I'm saying? So now one of the girls that they got is a young girl. She a Hispanic girl. And her brothers didn't play that shit. So once her brother found out that she had a pimp, it was on from there. It was on. You get what I'm saying? It was on from there. Like, once they knew, oh, you got a black dude pimping you, and you only like 15, 16 years old, it was cracking from there. So they came over there one time and they shot the house up, right? So after they shot the house up, that's where I'm going to leave y'all at. I'm going to stop it right here. I'm going to give y'all the rest of the story. I got y'all. I love y'all, Pooh Mafia. Thank y'all for supporting me through my time and need right now. I love y'all. I got y'all, okay? All right.